In this video, I am going to share my past 2 years of working experience in Germany, the pleasant surprises, shocks, and the challenges. My name is Jagan. I live and work in Germany, and I make content about how to find a job in Germany from India or from any other home country. If this sounds interesting to you, then subscribe to this channel to receive lot of useful German job related content. First, pleasant surprises are the good things. In these past 2 years in Germany, I have experienced working in two different companies. In both places, I have always got very interesting works to do. Personally, for me, these works were really different from what I was doing from India, so I find it more interesting here. Next one, encouraging co-workers. In my both companies, whenever I have come up with some new idea or whenever I shared something from my past experiences, I was always welcomed and I was able to add value to the team. I was able to contribute. In fact, when I was working for a new product, I was involved in language pack testing. During that time, we needed to test with multiple different languages. By default, German was the primary one, and we also tested with English, and I tried with multiple other languages, including my mother tongue Tamil. Initially, I was very skeptical to do that, but after my colleagues involved in testing multiple other Indian languages, I felt very comfortable. Together, it was a fun experience. Next one, which I really like, is in past, in all my experiences, I used to work as a service provider, so I had to do so many mandatory trainings in the e-learning portal. But now, after moving into Germany, in both of my experiences, I did not get too many mandatory trainings that we are supposed to do. Of course, there are still some, but that are not so many. And I see there are so many team events. Instead of just seeing some team lunch or team dinner, I can also see so many other kinds of team events like hiking, cycling together, and then making some internal conferences, making some internal workshops together. These kind of team activities are slightly different from what I have experienced. So I find them as good. And lots of leaves are there, and there are no questions asked if you want to take those leaves. People generally have a shared calendar or a shared Google Sheet or something. Only the internal team planning is required, and everyone is able to take all the vacations what they have. I rarely see people having their leaves expired. So taking required breaks and vacations are really good here. Sick leaves as well. If you are sick, you just initiate it through a portal or just writing a message to your team group or to your manager. That's all. You can just take your sick leaves. For first 3 days, you don't need to submit any medical prescription or doctor certificate that you were sick. Nobody questions what is your sickness, why you are not coming. From 4th day onwards, if you are sick, only then you need to submit the medical certificate. Next thing I noticed, there is a concept called tariff and non-tariff. When you are getting a new job, based on your experience and salary range, you will fall either into tariff and non-tariff. If you are within tariff, there will be a collective bargain agreement, which means the work council will collectively bargain for all the employees and get it agreed from the management, from the company. If you are inside tariff, then you need to punch in and punch out. If you are outside tariff, you don't need to do that. Punching in and punching out is one way of restricting yourself from overworking apart from your agreed contract. In fact, some of the tariffs used to have like every 2 years once your salary will automatically get increased. You don't need to request or negotiate with your manager. You will automatically get your salary increment for every 1 year or every 2 years. It's based on the tariff contract. Like this, there are some pros and cons being in tariff and non-tariff. Let's not get into that discussion now. But for me, this concept was really new, and after seeing some benefits from this tariff concept, I found it really surprising. Next one, technical and managerial routes are completely clearly defined here. In India, at least in my experience, after certain years of experience, you have to go through the managerial role in most of the organizations. But here, technical and managerial routes are clearly defined. So if you joined as a software engineer and if you want to retire as a software engineer doing coding, then you can still do it in Germany. I know some people who are with 20 plus 30 years of experience still doing coding and working on infrastructure designs, resolving incidents on the server level. If you want to be a technical person all your life, you can be that. Next thing, I was also surprised to see that some companies are paying Christmas bonus and vacation bonus here. Companies also provide language courses here. If you need German, then you will be given German course. If you need other languages, then you will be given that language course as well. I also like the fact that how people do networking here. If there are a couple of new people meet each other, and if they are working on a same topic, or if they have a common interest on some topics that they are working, they don't just meet at that moment and say, okay, let's catch up later, and they don't just go like that. People actually sit and create a lunch invites for each other, maybe once in a month or once bi-weekly. They have a lunch together and they try to discuss and exchange ideas here. In fact, I have been part of this kind of lunch multiple times, and I have really learned a lot of new things from this. It is really encouraging. And during lunch time, you could see that everyone used to wish each other stating Mahlzeit. Mahlzeit means it's lunch time. It's kind of wishing one another to have a good meal, to enjoy your meal. This is really common if you are in office. If you just have an eye contact with one, even if they are unknown people, they used to say Mahlzeit, Mahlzeit. I really like that. And also people try to understand different cultures. At least in the companies where I have worked until now, they try to ask more questions to know more about how we grew up and how they grew up. Not just this, multiple other cultural related topics from different cultures. Not just about one or two people, it's about all the people from different cultures. We used to exchange about all different topics. That used to be really fun. And also people are really interested in fitness, like what is the sport that you are doing? What kind of games are you playing? If one misses doing running or jogging on a single day, then they feel kind of, I did not do my jogging today, I need to cover up. I could see so many people with this spirit. In case if we are not doing any sports or exercises or something like that, then we will also be tempted by what others are doing. As you might be aware of this quote, you are the average of 5 people whom you are surrounded with. If you are surrounded with healthy people, then you will also eventually become healthy, right? And one more thing that really surprised me is people care for quality of work over money. Sometimes we tend to go with higher package, higher benefits and other stuff. But here I see, even if there is a good offer comes with a lot of money, with bigger brand, people are not moving out because of the quality of the work, quality of the role. And of course, if Germany means this comes as a primary topic, work-life balance. So work-life balance is also really good here. I have told in my other videos as well. In the past 2 years, I was never asked to work over a weekend or a night shift. I just need to work during the agreed times, and after that I am completely free to do whatever I want to do. This is strictly followed here, and it is really good for the employees. Now let's move on to the shocks. These are just shocks. It does not mean good or bad. The first one is the role names are different here. For my first job, I was applying for application support related roles. And in India, I used to be a senior support engineer or support lead. These were the titles that I was holding. When I was applying for Germany, I saw titles as application manager. I was thinking, okay, I was a lead already, now I am going to become a manager. But later I realized it's just an application support consultant. Most of the roles are differently called in Germany. One more thing, kitchen is very common in German offices. You will have a pantry, and there you will also have a stove and some wooden sills. If you want, you can make some small dishes there and you can cook and eat there as well. People do not hesitate to all kinds of work. Whoever goes to kitchen, if they see something is spilled on the platform or the table, people clean it by themselves. They don't feel that I am a software engineer here, I am a project manager here. No, there is no such feeling here. If there is something missing, suddenly they go and take it from the fridge and refill it in the coffee machine, whether it is milk or coffee capsules or whatever it is. If there are less cups available in the kitchen, people go to a repository area and they take a lot of cups from there and come and refill in the kitchen area. everyone does everything, and a lot of team parties filled with beers and food. That is really common here. The next thing is the appraisal process seems to be different from what I have experienced in India. We used to fill our self review, we need to try to sell ourselves inside the company a lot so that we are getting some good hike and other stuff. That used to be the experience for me. But here people take the appraisal process in a very relaxed manner. If manager says that you did not achieve XYZ, in my past experiences we somehow try to defend that, and so why I cannot achieve or blah blah things. But here people say, yeah, I did not achieve that, it's okay if I don't get that promotion. People accept the things as it is. Maybe I need more experience to understand this and get more clarity about it, but based on what I have experienced until now, it looks like it's not very tedious process. I also noticed that if there is some small inconvenience, people immediately raise an issue for that. People immediately raise their voice. If there is a problem, I used to, it's okay, I can manage it, I can live with it. That used to be my attitude and some of my friends as well. But here what I notice is, if there is a small inconvenience or something that is bothering people, they immediately raise their concern and they speak up, and they try to, let's say if there is something broken in the kitchen, they immediately create a ticket, and that really helps. Maybe that's something I would also learn. And also there are some direct conversations happen often. If there is a need from the management for the team, in case if the management answer is not good or not enough, then people say their thoughts in a very strong manner without any sweet quoted words. Sometimes this type of meetings or conversations happen, and I was shocked to see that. You can see people working from their internship until retirement in a single company. 30 years, 40 years, some people even worked in same company for 50 years and then they retire. Here the retirement age is 67, I think. So people start at the same organization and they end their career in the same company. So this is really very common here. You can see a lot of such people in very big companies. And finally, challenges. I noticed that some part of the code was written in German. Don't question me like how can someone write code in German? In case if you are writing Java code, public static void main cannot be changed in any other language. But when you are writing class names, function names, any other user defined things, those are having German names. If you are not good enough to some extent in German, then reading through the code, troubleshooting or doing maintenance or creating new code would be a difficult task in some companies. The yearly increments are not quite often and not quite high. In India, it is common that people get from, let's say, 10% to 25% also. It used to happen. But here the increment is not so high. It may be like 5% or 10% at the max. That could be a challenge if you are not with a very good package initially. Another challenge what I noticed is finding right resources and onboarding them really takes a lot of time and a lot of energy for the companies. That's why you might be hearing every time that Germany is going through labor shortage and the government is trying to give some visa flexibilities to attract talents. So this is really a problem. I have also seen that in my experience here. Sometimes I also feel that the hiring process seems to be very slow here. There are so many processes that we need to follow before initiating a new opening and then going through all the hiring process and onboarding the candidate finally. That looks to be another challenge for me here. I hope this can be helpful for you in case if you are researching about Germany work culture and other stuff. In case if you have any other specific questions that I have not covered in this video, then please feel free to write that in comments. I have already made a video about my past 2 years personal life in Germany. In case if you are interested, then you can click on the link appearing here and watch that video as well.